Hello, everybody. All four of you here. Nice to see you today. Yeah, normally we spend a couple of minutes going through saying hello to people before we start, but that's going to be an easy job today. Hello, Dragon Crawl Ash. Hello, R Long, Small Batrazzi, Donald's Neff. Bordu Rat, same old. Nice to see you all here. If you've just dropped in and not said hello yet, just leave a little comment. Let me know that you're here. We've got a few people. That's really good to know. JD, GSG, Jeff, hello everybody. Rob Sebastian, nice to see you here. Wolverine, Stell. Stell. Michael Mitchell, nice to see you again. Owen Rogers, nice to see you back. OG Mikey's Room, FMS is the best. Nice to see you haven't changed your name back yet. That's cool. Dalton, Valcoriana, so many people here now. Yeah, it's great to see you. Yeah, we're here on Thanksgiving. So you may wonder, why did we make a live stream on Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving evening? And the answer is probably they would be just very silly. For us, it's not Thanksgiving anymore because it's the next day. But we should really have thought about that a bit more carefully, I think. But the main reason we have a live stream today is it's the last day of our Black Friday sales. So we just want to quickly remind people that if you want to get something on that sale, then you need to do it quite soon. And then today, most of the stuff that I'll be talking about is I'm going to give you a little brief history of the 1950s and 1960s cars and trucks, mostly focusing on trucks, and then looking at some of our RCs, which are scale models of some of those trucks, and looking closely at those details and how we can identify which year those models are from and things like that, which I find endlessly fascinating. There's a lot of research I have to do, but please bear in mind that I'm not a car historian, really. I'm not really qualified to do this. That's the case for everything I do. Basically, I'm not really qualified to do it, but I do it anyway. I've been researching a lot by looking up, Wikipedia, YouTube videos, and things like that. If I get something wrong, then just correct me in the comments. I'd love to hear some. If you guys are in the know, then please share your thoughts. And I'm learning stuff as well. So today we have a giveaway, and I'll let you know all about that further down the line. And that's a great. Some of you may be thinking today will be a quiet live stream, so there's a better chance for you to win something, which is probably true. So good luck to everybody. We'll have a giveaway. We've also got a couple of SEC killings. We've got one which we've had going on for a little while, and may remain until we get rid of all the stock for this product. And the second one is a really surprise one, and I think some of you will be quite pleased with it, and it's something that we don't normally stock. So keep your eye on the live stream, and you'll find out what's going on. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Let's quickly go through the comments, see if there's any interesting discussion. Terry Cooper from Canada, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone south of the border. We have in China, there's a few places that do Thanksgiving dinners and things like that. I didn't partake this year, but I have done before. It's not something I normally celebrate, obviously, being British, but it's nice. I think actually it's quite nice. The expat community kind of comes together for these kinds of things, and it's a great way to meet new people. Just go out and celebrate Thanksgiving together. Hello, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And let's see. Trailer hitch for the Atlas 6x6, please, so I can get the new trailer for it. That would be cool. Yeah, maybe we should come up with a few more trailer hitches now that we've got some nice trailers. And that's something that I should have brought with me to show you today, actually, but I didn't. We've got 3 new trailers which have been designed specifically for the LC80. They're very scale looking and cool. If you love your kind of scale runs and you know, doing a little bit of what do you call it? Nice features. It's nice to make videos and stuff with, you know, with this kind of stuff. You can put some scale camping gear in the back and things like that. Okay. Days of RC says, that's a sweet looking 6x6 over there. Are you talking about this one? Maybe. Or is there another one in the back somewhere? This one? I'm not sure. Working on my K5 here. Good evening, all. Cool. Send us your photos. Make a deal car trailer. Enjoy my information or misinformation as it may be. I should have a pair of Hello Kitty vans for my 2 nieces tomorrow. They are going to be so happy. I hope it arrives or everything's in good condition for you there, Mitchell. Yeah, I'm sure they'll love it. And pull that 6x6 a bit closer. Is this one or this one? Well, we'll be looking at them today, so so I'll show it off for you quite soon. I love how you actually engage with the chat. Yeah, I try my best, you know, and it's a bit easier at the moment with the chat going a bit slower than it normally does. So I can respond to a lot more comments. All right, so let me get started. So firstly, let me bring out one of our stars. It's the Dino Fari. Every live stream we have over the next few weeks or months, we'll feature this one. We've got a killing for it. It was $499, which is a big price to pay, but it's an awesome rig. Michigan body is kind of Jeepish. This one has a horizontal grill, but the one that you would get would have vertical slots. And yeah, it's based on that Michigan body, which is no longer for sale. So we can't sell it anymore, which is why we're giving it at a discount price, which is $399. I think it's definitely worth it. It comes with all of the decals that you see here. It doesn't come with the winch. That's something you can get separately. And yeah, it's got all the decals, everything like that. And there's a link for it, which is in the chat box now. So if you're interested, $399. Now, if you spend $399, I'm doing all my sales stuff early so I can get that out the way. If you spend $399, we've got, for today, we've got one more sale, which is $199 for, and then if you spend that much, then you can get a set of tracks or a Bronco Lexan body. And this one is, what's the word? You can't choose, yeah. You can't choose, it's randomly selected for you. So you either get one of these or one of these if you spend $199. Sorry? Oh, you can choose. It was random to begin with. I guess they changed it. But you can choose this one or this one. So I guess everybody would choose this one unless you want tracks, in which case you might need to buy another set of tracks so that you've got a full 4. The other thing is if you're going for like something like the Michigan, which is $399 at the moment, then you may want to spend an extra $100 to get either a free Blue Jay or a free Highway Pursuit K5. And there's 2 color options for you. This here, I just saw a question from FMS, is the best 10th scale. This is apparently 10th scale, but it's really more like a 6th scale or 7th scale. So just be aware that this is actually huge. You're going to need some big wheels and tires to go with it. These ones, I'm not sure if they're really the best size. You may want something a little bit different. You see there's space around here. It's a little bit too high. You may want to have it lowered a little bit to make it look cool. Actually, there's a video about, I can't remember who made it, but it's a really cool video about choosing the right size tires and wheels for the Michigan. So check that out if you're going to get it, because yeah, I think that's one of the coolest upgrades you could do for it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's it. If you spend $499, then you can get a choice of one of these, and they're both really cool products. The Blue Jay is completely ready to go. So I think they call it plug and play, and that means it's got everything. It's got the transmitter and the battery. It's totally ready to set up. A ready to fly RTF is called here, and it's really nice and big. It's quite beginner friendly. So if you're maybe quite new to flying planes, then this one is a good one for you. K5 is an awesome car on the FCX 24 platform. It's 1:24 scale, so it's about this big, and it's got a lot of upgrades available for it, and yeah, really nice product. It's got 2-speed portal axles and stuff like that. Very cool. So if you're spending that much money, then get one of these, and that's ending today. Okay, so if you've got stuff in your basket and you're not sure if you want to buy it now or save it for later, then just buy it now because you'll save a lot more money that way. All right. Whew. There's my sales stuff. Anything else? I've got one more thing, which is a Sekilling, and it's a really cool one. And I'm afraid I don't have the card to show you, but you may be familiar with the Hobby Plus CR18 cars, the original CR18 cars. I've got some of them in stock here, but I don't have the one that we're going to have for the Sekilling. The car that we're actually doing for the Sekilling is called Kratos, and it's basically a Jeep body that's been kind of modified so that it doesn't infringe on license problems. And it's a really cool platform. It's a very good performing platform straight out of the box, Lexan body, and it's current. We've got a Sekilling for this, which is for $59.99. So it's a really good bargain, but only 5 are available today. Okay, and we don't normally sell them on our website. The reason we don't normally sell them is because they're very similar to the Firehorse, which we sell. And so this is another really good product, very good price, $59.99. Just check out the links. Ready to fix. Okay, so they don't sell no FMS at my hobby shop, sadly. You can talk to them about that. Recommend us. Recommend FMS anyway. It's not really us, but we're good friends with them. So I hope that I hope if you've got a hobby store nearby, just keep talking to them about FMS, and then eventually they might want to buy. Especially, the FMS are going to have a lot more upgrade parts available and things like that. So it's really quite customer friendly and shop friendly. So yeah. Excellent working in the ski industry. It has been many years since I have been able to do that. So it has been awesome. Cardboard crawlers. I think you're replying to something that I've missed. Yeah. Jesse Blamey, I am in the works with chatting with you guys about putting arms into my local hobby shops here in town. That's great to know. That's cool. Yeah, I hope that goes well for you. And yeah, you can get some FMS products there. It's nice to see. The FMS boss, he went to America recently, and he was showing me the videos of some of your hobby stores in America, and some of them are huge, like like a factory. It's like as big as a factory or a warehouse. And it's nice to see that FMS do have a position there in the store, and they're not the most prominent, but getting better, I think, which is really great to see. It might be a hobby town. Yeah, it might be. I'm not sure because I didn't see the branding on the outside of the store. I just saw it inside. Okay, so FCX 18 is a beast. Yeah, it's a really cool platform for scale crawling. It drives well, and it's also very scale, which is I think it's a great balance. Okay, so now I've got all the sales stuff out the way. Let's begin our journey into 1950s and 1960s history. We're looking at some of the trucks or pickup trucks and things like that came out around that era. And I've been researching it a little bit, and you maybe can chip in with some of your own knowledge in the chat box. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe and put a like on our channel, because that really helps. Okay, and let's get into it. So the 50s was really defined by, by post-World War II. There's a lot of stuff you can see that's a kind of reaction to what happened during the 1940s. And there was a shortage of steel and a surplus of aluminium. So there were cars that were being built with aluminium rather than steel, which we'll have a look at today. Other things that had happened is the factories. A lot of cars had factories that had been bombed, a lot of car manufacturers, I mean. And so they had to move to like new factories and set everything up anew. They didn't really have a budget for new production runs and things like that. And so a lot of what happened was they were repurposing the stuff that they had built in World War II. So they were transitioning from using cars as a kind of military purpose to commercial, improving the style of these cars by adding curved edges and things like that, and also adapting them for other purposes like agriculture, and adding features that could help in farming and things like that, like PTO, the power takeoff, which could help to run different appliances in the farm and in the forest and stuff like that. So we had cars on one side. There's like the commercial cars, like the International Scout, like the Bronco and things like that coming out. And I'm not sure when the Bronco actually came out, because we don't have an old Bronco, but I think it was around that era. It's one of the first SUV styles, which kind of was really moving away from the just pure off-road cars towards kind of commercial use and family use. And then you had cars like the Land Rover and the Unimog, which were kind of built for agriculture and had farming in mind. So yeah, there's a little bit of that going on. Additionally, there were new technologies coming out, things like automatic transmission, power windows, and things like that. They were improving on mass production and economies of scale. So really, they're moving kind of more into the luxury field. And I think when we think back to the 50s and 60s, in our mind we can you maybe see a lot of these really stylish cars. So the 60s in particular was really known for being a super stylish era, and that's something that we you can see in some of the cars that I'll show you today. That especially the American style, it's really quite cool, and that that's the kind of transition that we're seeing. Also, in America, they're moving more into suburbs, into away from the city and into kind of places where they have better access to countryside. So there was a real rise in camping during that time as well. So a lot of the kind of SUV style cars that were starting to come out had this in mind. That is maybe a small 4x4 that could be used for kind of everyday use, like going to the supermarket and stuff like that, but also could go out camping in the mountains and things like that. So it had that double function, and there were starting to be things like air conditioning and things like that in the cars to make everything a little bit more comfortable for families. So that's a kind of what was going on at the time, and I'll show you some of the cars that came about. During my research, I've been trying to place the cars in a specific year, based on the details, and that's something that you can really do with the FMS cars, because they're so detailed and they're so accurate. You can see some of the small differences between one year and the next, and you can place it in a particular year. And while I was doing that, I came to a couple of surprises that, there were cars that, for example, the Unimog, for example, which has just come out and is built as a 1966 model. 1966 was the year that Unimog came out, 421 model. But the actual version that FMS have built is not a 1966 car. It's actually a 1970 car. And I'll tell you why when I do the 1970s live stream. But that's a car that I'm not actually going to show you in today's live stream. Because I realized as I was doing all the research to it, I was on the last bit, and then I found some information which told me that actually this Unimog is a 1971. And so all of that research, I have to just push it back to the next live stream, to the 1971. All right, let's go back to some comments. Real Cletus says, what is a sekilling? That was my first question when I heard that. A sekilling is 2 words. It's sek, which means second, and like second and minute and hour, second, and killing, which is like you die. So it means you die in a second. Basically, the sale will die in a second. So it's basically a sale that will last for a very, very short period of time. For example, the one we've got today, which is the Kratos from Hobby Plus, this is only available for 5 customers. So once all of those are gone, then the sale ends. So it's a very, very short sale, basically. Got my Dinofari sekilling yesterday. Very nice. Does that mean it arrived, Spry Guy? Or you just bought it and then it's arriving soon? Let us know. How's everything with that? I hope it's all in good condition. I just saw an old Dodge truck lifted, huge tires and patina old paint. And the first thing I thought was that we need a body like this. Yeah, it's cool being in this hobby, because you see cars, you see old cars that you think, and then as soon as you see them, you're like, we should make an RC of that, and it gets you kind of excited, and then they bring out another Power Wagon, but it is cool. It is cool. We need a mini Michigan on the FCX24 platform. I really hope, the problem is not with FMS's efforts in getting a license. FMS are very, very keen to get licenses for their products, but there's a lot of companies that just won't play. They don't want to give out a license. Partly maybe they don't know if the sales numbers will be high enough, or maybe that they already have an exclusive deal with another RC company or something like that. So it's just basically that Jeep are not playing with FMS at the moment. And so because of the trouble that they've had with the Michigan, I highly doubt that they're going to have another another one in the near future. It would be really cool, and you never know. So I hope that they're in a dialogue and they can arrange something. That would be very good. Okay. Say again. Oh, the Kratos has already sold out, guys. So that's what's the meaning of sekilling. It's already gone. Yeah. So that's awesome. I hope you guys enjoy it. $59.99 is a bargain for that. And do remember that there are lots of upgrades available for that car now, because it's the same platform, basically, or almost, as the CR18P. And so all of the upgrades that were made for that platform are still available for the CR18, or nearly all of them. You can maybe double check if you're not sure. Okay, my sekilling purchase from the other week is set to arrive before morning. Should be here around 5 a.m. or so. The Hobby Plus CR18P T-Hunter kit. Really looking forward to checking it out. Cool, nice to see you here again. And I'm sorry about if I can't pronounce your name, but yeah. The Kratos was my first crawler and still have it. Very cool car. Just keep making them with different grills. Us mod guys will make it a Jeep low. Yeah, I think Hobby Plus do a really good job with that by just changing some of the details. The problem is that, you get this car, it's iconic, it's classic, people will like it. And then as soon as you start changing small details, then come the complaints, oh, the grill's rubbish, or oh, I wish they had done the real this one or that one. And, and that's, as soon as you start changing it, and then you destroy that iconic feeling that you get from the car. And yeah, so it's a really, really tough balance, really tough one. So let's get started. I've already said that, haven't I? Let's get started about half an hour ago. What I mean is, let's bring out the first car. So I'm going to try and do this in the date order, the order that it was first released. So the first car that I'm going to bring out is the Land Rover Series 2, and okay, now the one I've got here is a kind of mustard one, and this is a 112. Sorry, the roof's not totally on straight. Let me just get it on nice and show it to you properly. Okay, there we go. The roof can be screwed in, by the way. This is a Series 2 Land Rover. So the first Land Rover was highly, what's the word? Utilitarian. Is highly functional car, designed to be really tough and really good off-road. The second one was the first one of the series to receive some styling, receive a bit of attention from the style team. Now, Land Rover, or Rover Company, before the war, they were making luxury cars. So when the first Land Rover, the Land Rover Series 1, this was them basically trying to make a little bit of money after the Second World War with the parts that they had available. Their factories had been bombed, and they had to move to a new factory. And they made a vehicle which was, basically a farming vehicle. It was tough off-road. It was, it couldn't go very fast at all, and neither could this one. Very, very loud, but had good torque, and it had a lot of durability. It was basically based on a Jeep, so a lot of these cars came from Jeep. And but it was quite different in its styling. It was shorter, it was wider, it was heavier, and it was faster than a Jeep. And it was only available in one color because they had to basically use the military supplies of aircraft cockpit paint, and so that was only green, and so they had it in a light green color originally. And it became really popular. People liked it. And although it was only really designed to make a bit of money so that they could go back into designing the luxury cars, sorry, yeah, I lose track of my thoughts regularly. They actually realized that it was selling much, much more than their normal luxury cars. It was a really good seller, so they carried it on, and it is, it's still going to this day, and it's their iconic car, really. So then came the so let me quickly show you some of the features of that. The first thing to know about the Land Rover is that it was made with aluminium alloy rather than steel, and that means that it doesn't rust. It doesn't rust, or it hardly rusts, and that's a really, really cool thing that you don't get on most cars. But I think they've kept going with the aluminium alloy, even though steel is cheaper. And so cars of this series are still available in aluminium alloy, but please correct me if I'm wrong about that. I'm not totally sure. But yeah, we had a rusted version of this, and it was rightly pointed out in one of our posts by someone who was obviously knowledgeable about it, that it's unrealistic to have a rusted Land Rover. So yeah, that was a bit of a mistake on our part, but quite funny, really. And it still looked very nice. That's still available now if you're interested. Okay, other things was that it had a leaf suspension, just like this one. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see that, but has this this leaf suspension. It means that it's very, very bouncy, bouncy on the rocks. If you put this into second gear, because this has a first gear and a second gear, and you drive it, basically it just bounces along like this, and it really rattles, you know. And I think, yeah, it's kind of realistic, because cars, if you've seen people driving cars like this, they really do rattle on the smooth roads we've got today. So they would be shaking around a lot. But at the same time, it does look a little bit funny. The suspension is a bit stiff, but it's very realistic. Yeah, there's really not much flex at all on this suspension, just to let you know. Okay, and what else? You could switch between two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, which is quite a cool function. And that's something that you can do with this RC car as well. And you could also start it using a hand crank. Now, that would be really cool if we could do that with this car, but you can't. If you have a look here, you see this hole. Okay, and also you see at the back, there's a hole here. This is for the PTO. So you could actually start a lot of farming equipment from using this this kind of socket, and here, using the power of the engine, you could power a lot of the farming equipment that they had. So that's a really nice feature, and it's nice to have these things on the scale models themselves. Just that they had the thought to do that and put that little hole in there. Yeah, very cool, very cool. I just saw a comment. Days of RC says, Joe, tonight may not be the day for it, but you can compare the Hummer side by side to the Land Rover at some point. I want to compare its 1 to 12 scale. Thanks in advance. Why not do it now? Now, the 1 to 12 scale Hummer is huge. Now, do we have it? I thought we had it. It's in the box. I'll bring it out later. But it is huge. And the scale of this one, I mean, if you compare it to, I don't know, 1 to 18 Magnum, this is 1 to 12. This is 1 to 18. And you see the size difference. I don't know how accurate this is, but I do know that the Land Rover is a short car. This is the short wheelbase version. I think there was a longer wheelbase, which had they even built it up to have a 12-seater. This is a 7-seater. So it's got 3 seats at the front, and then on each side there's a bench. So there's room for 2 people on each side here. So that would make it a 7-seater Land Rover. But they even made a 12-seater Land Rover. If you hear some noise in the background, by the way, it's because we're trying to open up the box with the Hummer in it for you to have a look at. Yeah, so they made a 12-seater version because then they could class it as a minibus, and then they had all kinds of like tax benefits. So they didn't have to pay tax. They could go onto roads that were mainly used for buses, and so it was much cheaper to run than the small version, basically, which is a cool little detail. Okay, this is ridiculous. This is a 1 to 12 Hummer. This is a 1 to 12 Hummer, which is a very cool car. And this is the 1 to 12 Land Rover. Now, I can't believe that this is realistic, but yeah, this is more like a 10th scale car, I think, and this is more like an 18th scale. I can't believe that this is an accurate scale, which is a bit of a shame, because these are, you know, known for their their scale looks. So this 1 to 12 series that FMS do are known for scale, but I think partly the reason is that this has like 100 different servos in it to do things like 4-wheel steering and all kinds of stuff like that. So you have to make room for all of that. It's a lot heavier and bigger. The Hummer is wide, and yeah, it is a big car in real life. You're right, Stu nod. But yeah, I still just can't imagine these two cars being really on the same road as each other. But correct me if I'm wrong. Whoa. Yeah, be careful. Okay. So kitchen table RC says the one-to-ones would be proportionally the same. That's really interesting, and that's kind of a surprise to me if that's true. Okay, definitely a 1 to 16 scale. The Hummer is a 1 to 12 scale for sure. How many speeds? So the Land Rover has 2 speeds. The Land Rover has 2 speeds, and I think that's the original car had four gears, I believe. Yeah, and let's see, what other information can I tell you about this? There are different versions of the roof. So this car, the RC version, you can use it as a pickup like this. There's a single cab top, I believe, but I can't find it. But I think there's a single cab top, and with the cargo bed on the back. And there's also a station wagon version. The station wagon version like this. And that's got a hole for a window here. There's no windows on this side and this side. They're just open, which is how it was, the original cars. And this is the same as the 3 versions that were available for the Land Rover Series 2. So we had station wagon, pickup, and we had single cab, and 2 doors. I think there's also a 4-door version in real life, but this one is 2-door version and short wheelbase, short bed. Just open the doors. Okay, so yeah, these ones have openable doors, and it has steering linkage. So when you're steering the RC, the wheel actually turns as well. The steering wheel is quite realistic with these 3 spokes. And also the gears inside is very realistic. So you have the handbrake, you have the gear shift, you have these 2 meters, like speedometer and something else. And there's 1 pedal on this side. So that's a bit of a strange one. The original version of this car, the prototype for this car, had the steering wheel in the middle of the seat. So it's in the middle, which is so bizarre to me. It seems completely impractical. So obviously they moved it. But this is one thing that I would say is a bit of a shame about this model. And I guess it's because FMS need to use similar chassis to what they've used for other cars, but the steering wheel is on the left-hand side, and in Britain we have the steering wheel on the right-hand side. And yeah, for me that's kind of strange. I know that they brought these versions out in America and in Australia, and I'm not sure. I know in America it's on the other side, and I think maybe Australia too, but I'm not sure. But this is really a British car, and I think it should have the steering wheel on the right-hand side. Another thing is I don't believe this is the American or the Australian version, because I think that for those countries, they moved the headlights from inner here to onto the fenders here. So they had for these other countries, they moved the headlights to these other parts. So I think that this is definitely a British version, but the steering wheel is just on the wrong side. Other features for this car, yeah, let me just show you the grille. And the grille is very cool. Originally, the grille for the Series 1 just covered the whole area here, and the lights were behind the grille. This is a more updated, stylized version. And then later on, they moved these lights onto the fenders. It also has these lights here. Sometimes you can see these with a kind of cage over the top. And normally you'd see the license plate here. And yeah, what else? We've got, let me see what else I've, yeah, the mirrors, the side view mirrors were mounted at the front. So they're really small. It's really hard to see them from the driver's seat. And they would rattle around a lot, of course. So really, really hard to use these. I think another interesting thing is these cars have indicators. And I think that the original version didn't have indicators, indicator lights. I think so, unless maybe there were some updated versions with indicator lights. I was watching a YouTube video the other day of the Land Rover, and the driver couldn't find any switch for the indicators in the car. So yeah, that's interesting. The wheels are painted off-white, which is the kind of traditional, the original style of the Land Rover. So that's kind of the right color and similar size. This tread, it's kind of like military style, I think. And yeah, I think it's quite realistic, although I'm not quite sure. But yeah, some of you may wonder what's the main differences between the Series 1 and Series 2. So Series 2 has this curved side here. Yeah, so that's one of the style features, is this curved side. The curved side also gave extra room for the wider axles that it had. So that's one of the biggest differences. So the Series 1 was just completely flat and just practical. It didn't look very stylish at all. Another interesting difference is these panels here. The panels which would be used to cover, on one side, this side would be the fuel tank, and then on this side would be the exhaust pipe. Though it might be the other way around because the seating has changed on here. I'm not sure if this has an exhaust pipe. Can't see one. So they added these panels just to cover up those parts so you couldn't see them. And then you also had here a valance panel, which would cover the steering linkage, which you can see just here. But yeah, so from the top, you wouldn't be able to see it. And that's quite a cool little addition as well. Okay, other things that kind of show the attention to detail that FMS put into these. The rounded roof with the ventilation holes, a little bit curved. It also had, what else? It had like rounded windows around here. So the edges of the windows and along here were also rounded. So that's very cool. One of the iconic shapings of the Land Rover series is the flat back. You know, it's very, very flat and angular at the back, which of course normally is a bit of a no-no in terms of car design. It doesn't look that great, but for the Land Rover, it's really iconic. So it's got that flat back, and there's a lot of details in the rivets and things like that here, which is cool. You can see the Land Rover branding on the car, the front and the back. Okay, and I think that's about it. A couple of things that I would just say maybe not that scale. Yeah, a couple of things that are not that scale. The hinges are they actually use something called proud hinges, which are much bigger than this. So the hinges are a little bit off scale, and then the pedals. I can see. Yeah, there's not really any pedals in here. There's something here which looks a bit like a pedal down here. I can't really show it for you, but just about here, there's something that looks like a pedal, but it's really just used to move the steering wheel. So it's connected to the servo. Yeah, one thing I didn't show you just now is that this windscreen actually moves back. So the windshield folds down, which is very nice. And then, of course, has 3 different style options with 2 different rooftops. It comes with a little screwdriver for putting the screws in here, but be aware that if you want to get one of these, that the screws are really, really difficult to get in from under the car. You need a lot of patience to be able to get the screws in through the tiny little holes up here to be able to screw that rooftop. So yeah, just be aware that for me, that's one of the main issues of this car. This is available on our website at the moment. It was for $239.99 and is now $199.99 on our website. And I think my colleague is just checking to make sure I'm right. Yeah, so I think it's now available for, I think it's 2 versions. This is available for $199.99. And then we also have a white wedding mod, which I'll quickly show you. This is one of our mod versions, and this has been painted in white with a choice of dark green or black rooftops. Rooftop, is that right? I'll just say tops. And yeah, so this is a really nice version, and this is $239.99, a little bit damaged here. Okay, a white wedding one is a really nice mod. It looks very classic, very suitable for weddings. If you want to find an interesting way to propose or something like that, you can incorporate it into the wedding somehow, or just play around with it. It's a nice color. All right, let's quickly get some comments. Love the classic boxy styling of the Land Rover. Any other colors? We have got other colors. Yeah, thanks. I couldn't find many other versions, but there's a green version, and there's also, what other version did it come with? It was green and yellow, and there's also a blue version. And we also have the white, and we have a pink. Special exclusives for Batrazzi. We also have a rusted version, which I mentioned earlier. Okay, so that's the Land Rover. And now let's move on to the next one. So the next one I'm bringing out is over on the American side, is the Chevrolet Apache. Somebody was asking earlier to bring out the 6x6. Now I've got 2 versions. This is the original FMS version, and then I've also got the modded version in 2-tone and rusted, which is available on our website too. The Apache, which came out in 1958, but I think that this is the 1959 version, although it's really hard to tell between the 58 and the 59. You can tell me if you're sure. So I'll quickly give you a little history or background to the Chevrolet Apache. The Chevrolet trucks have quite a long history. So originally they had an AK series from 41 to 47. Then that changed to the Advanced Design series from 47 to 55, which had kind of sleeker, more style, and it was stronger. And then after that, they brought out something called the Task Force, which really took off in popularity. It was really, it was very stylish. It was a good, strong truck. And I think it was on a real truck chassis rather than a car chassis for the first time. I'm not sure exactly that. And then in 1958, they released the Apache. The Apache is the name that they used from then on all of their lightweight trucks. They had light-duty trucks called Apache, medium trucks called Viking, and heavy-duty trucks called Spartan. The Apache was series 10, 20, 30, and 40. And I think it lasted quite a long time where they used the word Apache for a lot of their cars. There would also be a GMC version of these trucks as well. So some of the cool features or cool differences with these trucks is they had 4 lights. 4 lights up here. And they also had parking lights in the grille, just here, rather than the fenders. So previously they had these lights in the fenders, but here they're incorporated or integrated into the grille. The grille here has a really nice Chevrolet. I don't know how to describe it. It's like engraved in the plastic. What's the word for that? Maybe you can help out. It has the Chevrolet logo in here as well. One of the main differences as well for this era of Apache was that they the hood, which previously was like a hill, it's like a smooth hill over here, but here you can see that it's more like a valley with these 2 sides, and then a flat part here. So this is a nice bit of detail that FMS has put in. Along the sides, we have these kind of bullet-shaped, what do you call them? Bullet-shaped emblems, or I'm not sure. But normally it would have the word, I think, Chevrolet, and it will also have a number on it. These ones are left blank. Now, one of the main things that you probably think when you see the Apache 6x6 is that it's unrealistic to have a 6x6 Apache. Apaches were normally 4-wheel drive, not 6. They didn't have 6 wheels, and they would have a shorter bed. I have seen a couple of versions that are 6x6, and these are more like people have DIY'd it and built it themselves for shows and things like that. This one, again, this one also seems a little bit like it's not an original Chevrolet car. It's like the bed has been added on, so you can see this gap here between the bed and the cab. And normally you'd have like a kind of step here to kind of integrate them and join them together so it looks like one piece. This one looks like it's just been kind of added on separately. And then you get this long bed. Some of the details for this long bed are, where is it? Sorry if you can hear some noise outside, guys. I don't have my notes. Oh yeah, so one of the things is that this is a step side bed, not a fleet side. So they had 2 different versions of beds. One which had a kind of protruding step out here, and these fenders. And the other one which was just straight flat and had a wider bed, and it was just flat down the side. The flat one was called the fleet side. This one is called the step side. You can see the Chevrolet logo at the back and the white bumpers and the white grille. Most of the time I've seen these and they've been chrome rather than white. Chrome wheels, also quite scale looking. And that's about all the information I have. Oh yeah, the windshield is quite a cool feature. Around this era, they had like a curved windshield, which has been added by FMS. So that's something I never looked at really until I started looking into the history of these cars. FMS has made this one with a curved windshield to add that style of the 1950s. and a tiny little visor at the top. It has an interior, but the doors don't open on this one. Now, if you are thinking of getting one of these, firstly, hold your horses for a minute, because this is going to be the giveaway that we have today. Okay, so let's see if you can win one. And this is normally $139.99, but it's at the moment it's on sale until the end of the month for $125.99. So it is a good time to pick one up, but just wait until after the giveaway. Okay. Then we have the modded version, which is a little bit pricey, but yeah, just have a look at it really. This is $209.99. Okay, so this in kind of classic Chevrolet two-tone colors. I'm not sure if this is if there's actually a version like this for the Apache, but very cool. Okay, so let's do the giveaway, shall we? You guys have been very patient listening to me ramble on, and so let's do the giveaway, do something exciting to wake you all up. Okay, so by the way, there's no reason why we chose Apache as a, this name is obviously Native American tribal name, but we didn't choose this one especially for Thanksgiving. It's just kind of a coincidence. And so what we're going to do is you need to put your type into the chat box. Sorry, I can't talk. Type into the chat box a word that I will give you in a minute, and just type, enter, and then I'll count down from 10, and I will take a screenshot on the iPad, and whoever is the first name on the chat list on that screenshot will win an Apache. Okay. It has to be fully visible. So if it's half cut off or a third cut off, then we go down to the next one. Okay, so just to know that, because sometimes it's really hard to tell who's the winner. So that's the rule. The word I'm going to give you today is turkey. 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 Please type it in. Turkey. Turkey. Where's the screenshot button here? Okay, that's it. Turkey. I'm going to count down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, not looking. Screenshot. It's not quite working. There we go. Still not looking. And we've got a winner. Okay, so the first one on my list, congratulations, is Bordeaux Rat. Bordeaux Rat. I'm not sure if you've won anything before, but congratulations, Bordeaux Rat. You have won an Apache. And all you need to do to claim this prize is go to our Facebook and instant message us, or go to FairRC email, which is support@fairrc.com, and let us know that you won, and we'll set you up with a discount code so that you can order this with free shipping. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy it. And thank you very much, everybody else who's joining. Please do click like if you like giveaways. Click like, subscribe, and do all the other stuff. Okay, I know there's some people that think, I'm not going to click like and subscribe because I don't want to help the algorithms so that there are more people on this live stream, which will reduce my chance of winning a giveaway. But I do think that it's, we do like to give these things away. And if we have more subscribers, we will do more. So it really will help everybody if you subscribe and like our channel. Okay, so that's the Apache. Very, very cool. Chevrolet car from the 1950s, late 1950s, 58, 59, that kind of era. Let's check some comments and just make sure everybody's good. Okay. Terry Cooper says, y'all, I don't know how to pronounce that, being British, y'all get way better SUVs than we get here in North America, especially all your turbo diesels. Okay, well, I think America really is the iconic place for SUVs, and I love the modern day SUVs as well as the old ones. I think they're all great, and you don't see them that much in in England, in China. Occasionally we see one and we think, whoa, that's huge, and it looks really cool. But we don't see a lot here. At the time, it was very realistic. They were using surplus war tires. That's right. When are we getting doors that open? The details you guys do is awesome. You mean for the Chevrolet? So some of the 112 scale cars, most of those will have openable doors, but the 118 scale ones tend not to. I guess it's just too small and could easily break, and that kind of thing. So it's better to keep the doors closed. It would be nice if we could easily lift it up, and install an interior and stuff like that. FMS is the best. Is not a big fan of the color. Which one's that? The blue one or the modded one? Which color would you prefer for the Apache? Let us know. Love the classic boxy styling of the Land Rover. The white wedding is so nice. Okay. Any chance the FJ40 110 scale will have a Black Friday deal? I don't think so. I don't think so, because that's it's now kind of at the end. So we've kind of run all our discounts for that. There is a Cyber Monday coming up, which is just another excuse to have a discount. So I think that is 10% off of a lot of items, and I'm not sure, but it may include the FJ40. I think it's 10% off of everything apart from like 5 or 6 different things. So keep your eye out on a Monday. I don't know which Monday is Cyber. It's towards the end of the month. Maybe it's next Monday. Yeah. So keep your eye out for that. Turkey spelled wrong. Well, in my view anyway. Sorry, Yves Dugas, but we're finished now, so no chance to win. You might be a little bit lagging behind. Okay, let's go on. Now, I've been talking for an hour, so I need to hurry up, basically, and you guys are running your patience with me, probably. But I'm going to move to the FJ45 now. Okay, so the FJ45 is obviously a Toyota car. It was an offshoot from the FJ40. And it was the FJ series was originally the BJ series, which ran from 1951 to 55. Luckily, they changed their names because I don't know if they're aware of the parlance of our times. The FJ is a little bit better than BJ, I think. But yeah, this is the FJ45. The main difference for this is it basically had the long bed. It had the same drivetrain as the FJ40. It had the bed. It had different versions available, which was 2-door or 4-door. It had short bed, long bed. So this is obviously the 2-door long bed version. And this is a beautiful, beautiful scale car. And possibly, I mean, I do like the Commander wagon and the Kubelwagen, but I think this one is possibly my favorite scale car that FMS do. Yeah, just have a look at the cool details here. And BJ sounds pretty good to me. Okay, and yeah, really nice paint job on this as well. So this was the long bed. So the long bed version also had removable doors, and I'm not going to do that, but has this got the sticker? So the doors here do open, but they actually do come off as well. So it's really cool actually just to take the roof off. Nothing's coming off here. Everything's kind of stuck in. That's strange. Normally they open. Oh yeah, you need, for the FJ45, you need a key to open. I can use my nail. There we go. Yeah, that's why it wasn't opening. Okay, so these ones, normally the FMS cars have kind of fabric seats. These ones are plastic. You can see inside. This roof does come off. Now, I'm not sure if it's screwed on or not. and I don't want to break it. But yeah, really, really cool. It has these nice ventilation windows at the back, curved, and yeah, very cool features. It has fully built, designed dashboard. This one also has elliptical leaf springs, and I think the suspension on this is a little bit better than the Land Rover. Yeah, there's definitely more flex. It's a little bit more semi-elliptical, this one, whereas the Land Rover leaf springs were basically a straight line. So these do have a bit more flex, I think. Yeah, this was four-wheel drive, and basically it ran for a short period, and it was replaced by the FJ55, which became a really, really popular car. The details on this are really astounding because it's got all of the branding that you'd recognize on it. It has a cool truck bed with very angular, yeah, very boxy. Has this little overhang here with some little hooks along the side for attaching like a cover or a tarpaulin. Yeah, really cool. Okay, I'm going to move on. I'll quickly show you the rusted version. The original is $249.99 at fairrc.com, and this is the $299 version, rusted and looking really awesome. We have some really cool videos on our YouTube channel. If you want to check this out, yeah, it's made by RC Jono, who is a really, really good video guy from Australia, and he's got a really cool channel where he runs some of these as well. But yeah, awesome detail. Okay. And nearly finished, guys. Bear with me. I've just got one more to show you, and this is more of a jokey one. This is not really a scale thing. It's not really a scale thing, but I'm going to bring it out. This is a mystery machine. The mystery machine. And this one comes with decals, which has all the lettering along the side. This is actually called our Groovy Blue rock van, Groovy Blue. And it's obviously styled after the Scooby-Doo cartoon. And the Scooby-Doo cartoon came out in 1969. Now, obviously, the actual shape of this car is not like the car shown in Scooby-Doo, but all the coloring and the details is very much, accurate. So the Scooby-Doo van has been part of the Scooby-Doo series since the very beginning of the series in 1969. There's a little bit of history about the van itself. Before the Scooby Gang, it was owned by a rock band called the Mystery Kids, and it was painted by the group's keyboardist called Flash Flanagan. And then later, when Flash Flanagan left the band, he wanted to sell his van, and so it was bought by the Mystery Inc. gang, which is where Scooby-Doo and all of his friends come in. Now, the van itself was based on a 60s era panel van, but it's not very clear what the van was that it was based on. Some people believe it was a Dodge A100, and some people believe it was the Chevy G-body. And there's some different reasons why. So in the cartoon, the car had circular lights, but yeah, ours doesn't. Ours is rectangular lights, and it had an all chrome bumper. So this is clearly not a Dodge A100, this one, but it does look a little bit more similar to a Chevrolet G-body, which had an angled windshield like this. It had no side rear windows, so it's all covered up like that. And so this looks a little bit more like the Chevrolet G-body. And in my opinion, this looks much more like the 1980s version, the G-body G20, I think it's called. So yeah, so the actual car itself is more like a 1980s body, but the styling is classic Scooby-Doo. Some of the features not included in this version, the car itself had a parachute out the back, and it had an extendable satellite dish with a large antenna. We don't have those features on here. As you can imagine, they would ramp up the cost considerably. So yeah, this version is currently on sale, and we just put it on sale the other day. And it's originally $119.99, but we've got it on sale for $89.99. And that's a bargain, considering that what you get with that is the CR18P chassis, which has portal axles, and it has, this one doesn't have 2-speed, but it performs really good. It has great smooth electronics, and it's one of our best crawlers. If you don't have a crawler van, this is a really great one to get because it actually performs really, really well. A lot of the the cars with high bodies, they have a lot of balancing problems, but this one really doesn't. The weight distribution is good. The bumper sometimes gets in the way. Some people like to take off that bumper, but I like it. For me, I don't think that crawling should be about just making the car as good as possible to get over rocks. I think there's a kind of scale aspect to it, which gives it a kind of cool challenge, so keep it looking realistic. In my opinion, I think it's good to keep it realistic, and then you can see how different cars actually perform, so you get that kind of feeling for how those cars really perform with those kinds of bodies on them. And yeah, so I really like this one, and I think $89.99 is an awesome deal. So yeah, go for it. I'm not sure how long that will be going, but I think it's basically while stocks last. So yeah, keep it in your mind if you've got some money coming up over the next week or two. Okay, we're basically at the end of the show. Once again, there are a couple of things that nearly made the list that didn't in the end. The first one was the Unimog, which I discovered was actually a 1970s version. So that will be in the next show. And the other one is which one? This one. The CR18 Rushmore, which is based on an International Scout body and one of the first kind of SUV style cars. Now, my feeling, I haven't looked enough into this, but my feeling is this is more a 1970s version rather than a 1960s. Hobby Plus, they changed a lot of details, so it's really hard to figure out. But I think this is a 1970s kind of Scout 2 body. You can let me know what you think in the comments. But yeah, also a very cool car. All right, that's about it, guys. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great Thanksgiving. Go back to sleep if you're in Europe. have an extra hour in bed, and then I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye-bye.